And we are live. Welcome to this afternoon stream. We've got some Train Sim World 4 for you all. Hello to Connor. Hope you're doing well today, mate. And hello to anyone else who's joined us this afternoon. So I think I found out maybe a little bit too late that there has been a new Nidotoban timetable released as a mod. It's not an official release. And I'll probably be making content on that in the days to come. And I will probably make tomorrow's live stream center around the timetable, so we can take a closer look. I mean, at first glance, for the stock timetable, you've only got the 628 and the 365, and on the modern timetable, you've got the addition of the 204, the DB variant of, well, not the DB, but the DB red variant of the 628, the 642, and the G6. I'm doing very well, Connor. Thank you, mate. I'm doing very well. How are you? York Station. What lines do we have that run through York? Filtering about the UK will probably narrow us down a little bit. What lines do we have that run through York? If any. I know we have services that are meant to go to York on the East Coast main line. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so we've got to York, but we don't actually have York Station in the game. It's just a run that supposedly ends at York. But of course, you only go as far as Doncaster. But if you do want to see the some East Coast main line, I guess that's the closest we're gonna get realistically. We can jump on that. Let me see what we've got in terms of journey mode for that route. Okay, I've done all the journeys. I've only got the Steam stuff left. Re-record. Did I not do that already? Why? I'm very sure I did this. I'm very sure I did that scenario. I'm certain I did that scenario. So I'm not sure why it's showing as not being completed yet. I may be off though. But yeah, once again, we also have King's Cross to York services for the Flying Scotsman. But of course, they only end at the stations we have available. How long are the 158 services on here? About half an hour. It's not too bad. Of course, got some lengthy ones going all the way from Doncaster to Peterborough. Let's actually even get the let's get the stuff going on here. There we go. We can do a King's Cross to York Station, but just know, Connor, it's not the full line, so you won't actually see York Station in game. It would just be Peterborough to Doncaster. or the other way around. So we'll get that cracking right away. What time do you think will be relatively busy? Let's see all the services that go to York anyway. So I guess we could do this one. 1 November 8-1. Starting at 9:57 on across to York. And of course we'll be taking it over from Peterborough and driving as far as Doncaster. We'll leave dynamic weather on and just see what that throws our way. I'll give it a chance this stream. However, if it lets me down, then we're turning it off for the rest of the stream. I'm happy to give it a chance. Hey, hello Scott. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? Right, first things first, let's get the minimal HUD going. I can never remember where they hide this this setting. There we go, HUD type. You'd think HUD type would be under HUD, right? But regardless. Let's get that master key in. Let's get these doors open. I'm pretty sure that's about it. For here, and then we got obviously the safety systems. Does SDO actually work here? Because I don't see why you'd have the option to activate it and not have it function as it should.
TPWS and AWS operational.
All right, let's get going and start making our way down to Grantham. Now, if I remember correctly, there's not much, not really much to do there. What is the worst train? I think off the jump, a lot of people will say, just because of the sounds, I think a lot of people would say the Class 150. Personally, because I haven't taken a ride on that train in reality, I'm not as fussed by it as a lot of people are, but apparently the sounds are terrible. In my opinion, I don't think I have a train that is necessarily the worst train. I think it's a very subjective question, and it depends from what angle you're asking as well. Are you asking in terms of realism, difficulty to drive, sounds, the model itself? think it depends how or you frame that question. That would determine the answer. It's a shame to see the screen here still display the incorrect upcoming station. From release, it's always displayed the station after the next. Shame to see that hasn't been rectified. Also a shame to see something like cruise control hasn't been brought in, which is a feature on these trains in reality. I wonder if I've installed anything that's had any effect on the ballast. I feel like the ballast is a lot more murkier than I remember it. Although that could just be me. No, there's definitely... I'm pretty certain something's been done to it. The signals are still odd in the operation. And it's particularly annoying when you don't actually have anything ahead of you, but are forced to slow down due to the yellow's aspect, for whatever reason, just not changing to green. So it's a roll of the dice if you decide to just go full steam ahead, even when you've got a single yellow as an upcoming aspect. I think we'll definitely center tomorrow's stream around the new Nidotoban timetable. We also haven't really had a proper look at the Antelope Valley Line one. I don't think they're made by the same developer, which is good. It's good to have a variety in terms of modern and the modern community itself, because if we're getting what we're getting, and I do think that a timetable upgrade is a relatively important, mod. And if we're getting these sort of modifications to the game now, then I wonder what will come when we have access to the full tools, if that does become a thing. But it's very promising so far. Flying Scotsman on the West Somerset Railway. We can add that to the list. We can do that straight after this. So we'll do that after this one. I need to dust off my Steam Loco skills. To be fair, the Flying Scotsman was the last Steam Loco that I've driven. So it shouldn't be too much of a challenge, you won't think. We're 10 miles, well, a little over 10 miles down now. Only 16 miles left to Grantham. We're making pretty good progress. Nothing seems to be holding us back or slowing us down, which is always good to see. Hello, Lindsay. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? I also do wonder if any changes were ever made to the thickness of the wiring above. That's good. I'm glad to hear you're doing well. It's been a long while since I've seen anyone making noise about the thickness of the cables. That was a big talking point when TSW 4 first released. I never thought they looked too bad. The next DLC to come with, the next DLC to be released, or after this one? After this one, we'll be doing your requests, Scott. We'll get onto the West Somerset Railway. If you look at the list that we've got on the top left corner, you'll see that the West Somerset Railway is directly below East Coast Main Line, which is what we're currently running. Not just yet, Lindsay. It's going to be released on the 29th of March. 29th or the 26th? 26th of March, I think it is. Basically, it's going to be released the week after the London Overground route. And if I'm not mistaken, the London Overground route should come out next week, should be released next week. And so the 5 Circle line will come out in about a week and a half's time. A week and a half to 2 weeks. You drive Class 801? Yes, Cod, this indeed is the Class 801. A big hitch there, not sure why. But yeah, we've got the LNER today. There was a lot of hitching, I don't know why. Let's just safely go into the cab. The Goblin line comes out next week, Lindsay. The Goblin line is the Overground line. Goblin is short for Gospel Oak. Gospel Oak to Barking line. I believe that's what the Goblin line is short for, so it's the Overground line, which is now also called the Suffragette line. So take your pick. There's about 4 different names that you can have for one route. So yeah, we'll be getting that on, I believe it's Tuesday, next Tuesday that it will be released, as is the usual release schedule for routes. And then the following Tuesday will be 5 Circle, which, as I don't know if you've checked out my recent video. If you haven't, go check it out. But it's looking very, very promising. Very promising. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that one personally, especially because we've got the Class 385, so we'll be seeing that all along. And hopefully we can get our hands on the class 158, the new class 158, sooner rather than later. Twitch wants to constantly crash. It's me who was chatting about the F1 2 weeks ago. Oh yeah, I remember you, Scott. I remember the conversation we had about F1. Were you also, Scott, was it you that was on the stream where I wasn't responding to YouTube chat? I think that was either early last week, or a little bit before that. But yeah, basically, my apologies first and foremost. The issue was that sometimes YouTube doesn't show me YouTube chat, so I'm having to use a third-party program just to make sure I don't miss out on any YouTube chat. YouTube can be very strange at times for creators. They do have their fair share of issues, and unfortunately that happens to be one of them. So I didn't mean to intentionally ignore anyone. That wasn't my intention. So yeah, I apologize if you felt like you were unseen. Can you do Isle of Wight? I certainly can do Isle of Wight, Lindsay. As soon as we get to Grantham, I will add that to our list on the top left. If I forget, please remind me, because I have a tendency to do that. And we'll get onto that. I think I might have taken a bit of a long, maybe a too long of a run with this one. So I don't know whether we'll cut it short at Newark and call it there, or whether there's a lot of fog, isn't there? Or whether we'll take it the whole way, because we've got West Somerset Railway that we need to do, and we've also got obviously Isle of Wight now as well. And I don't want to keep you guys waiting too long once you've made your request. Preferably no more than half an hour. As long as there's a request. If there's no other request, then I'll just continue playing what I'm currently on until another request comes through, or I switch over to or if I decide to switch over to a different route. These signals are really messing me around, man. I'm not quite sure why the signals work the way they do on this route. Like, I don't know whether this red will just suddenly turn into a yellow aspect, or even just a green, which I have had before. But I'm assuming, to be honest, I can't even tell. I was saying I'm assuming there's a service ahead of us because it was red for a while, but it's now changed to yellow. So I have no clue whether there really is a service ahead of us that we're catching up to, or whether the signals are just playing up. But regardless, we'll try and be careful. We don't want to spad. We've already done that enough a couple of streams ago. But then I get really close as we are to this one, and then I brake really hard, and then it will just change to yellow, which is frustrating. Please don't spam, Scott. You'll get told off by Nightbot. We are gonna spad. We're going past the signal, no doubt about it. And there's nothing I can do. But I've stopped it. I've stopped it. There's a thing that I can do. I can't believe I'm spadding. This is the thing. Because the signals are so inconsistent. This is literally what I said I think it was 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, where I said it's a roll of the dice. You can continue just hammering it down past the yellow. And it'll be a 50-50 whether the signal will go yellow or whether it will remain red. Scott, please stop, mate. Please stop spamming. Because if Nightbot won't time you out, I will. Right, so that's not going to end well. Let's quickly head out of that one. and let's get onto the West Somerset Railway. So, yeah, I haven't driven the Flying Scotsman in a while. Are these new scenarios? I would assume so. And if these are all new that came with the recent update, I'm even more impressed. I actually didn't even know we had new scenarios. But regardless, let's... Right, let's see if we can find a route that roughly spans about half an hour. We don't really... We either got 5 minutes or an hour and a half. So in that case, I guess we'll start a run, and then we'll see how far we take it. If we do free roam squad, we won't really get any. There won't really be any. We won't really get any activity without adding it ourselves. Right, so bear with me while I re-familiarize myself with this logo. Why is it so? It's very dark in here. Right, so cylinder cocks get closed once we get moving. I do not remember what else there is to do here. You guys are gonna have to help me out. Because all I remember off the top of my head is that the cylinder cocks need closing once we get moving. I don't remember anything else that needs to be done here. I don't think I messed with anything else. Although, why won't the... I think I'm going to need the classic HUD here because I'm going to need the extra Steam information that we get to the left. Are we... Is this... This is the wrong way, right? This shouldn't be like this. I guess we're just going to take it in reverse then. Reverse to 50%, brakes on in regulator 100%. Reverse to 50%, regulator 100. Where's our regulator at? There we go. We haven't got sort of a handbrake, do we, that would need releasing? Well, we're not moving. So I've missed something else there. Yeah, I've taken the regulator all the way to full. I've fully opened the regulator and we're still not moving. Brakes are on. Brakes are on running. So the brakes are released. We don't close cylinder cocks just yet. That one I'm certain of. Yeah, otherwise we'll end up blowing up. Thank you, Lindsay. Told you I have a tendency to forget. Right, we're finally moving. We got there in the end. There you go. Scott, please don't spam, mate. Please don't spam. If you want to chat, if you want to type in the chat, please let it be something. Please let it be something. Otherwise, we'll just put Somerset Railway to bed as a punishment. I don't understand why we're running sender first though. Right, these are closing, don't they? This signal's bloody bright. Jesus. I don't know, Lindsay. I don't know if I want to think about it. The thing is, I don't buy everything full price. A lot of the ones that I've bought were from... So I bought some of them full price. A lot of them have been bought on sales and the Humble Bundle, which came super clutch towards the end of Train Sim Mod 3. Some of them have been gifted and others have been using the pre-order discount, and the rest of them, like I said, full price. So it's very scattered, so I honestly couldn't tell you. Scott, I did forget to put in Isle of Wight. It was just that after Lindsay reminded me, I updated the list, so it's in there now. Which version of the Isle of Wight would you like to see, Lindsay? The classic one, the one that was first released, or the updated one? Alright, Scott, take care, mate. Thank you for stopping by. Smoke doesn't look too bad. Could be better. Could be much better actually. Maybe it's not that great actually. 2022, not a problem. A rail driver with really easy rail driver with this. It's a bit finicky trying to manage the regulator with the keyboard. Are you planning on getting Park Circle? Yes, I am the simulator guy. It's looking pretty promising, in my opinion. screenshots are looking juicy. I know that there are complaints with regards to the audio of the 170, but that's not it's not a train that I'm familiar with myself. It's not a train that I've ridden on, and it's not a train that I'm, that's local to me. So I'm not someone who's going to be too bothered with that. The sounds are going to be perfect. I think they're close enough to what they should sound like. The scenery is beautiful. I like the fact that we've got two lines that we can take, two separate lines. I know they meet up at the end, but there's still a bit of variation. And just with features like auto announcement, it's looking promising in my opinion. What about yourself? Wish the scenery could have been fleshed out just a little bit more, but this is a route that is showing its age in many different ways, even with the new update. To be fair, it's not like the I don't think we necessarily need the classic HUD. No pets, no Connor. When I was younger, I used to have a cat when I was younger, and we had a few different birds as well, actually. Mainly because of my dad. He loves birds, so we had a fair few. Hello, I will call you Communic if you don't mind. I don't think I can pronounce the whole name. But hello, Communic. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well. But yeah, Connor, I think that the cat was more of like, more of a pet. I know birds are obviously pets, but cats are a lot more, there's a lot more that goes into taking care of them. And unfortunately we had to give him away. We moved around quite a bit and there just wasn't the possibility of keeping him around with us while we did that. So that kind of sucked. We grew to love him, he grew to love us. But it was nice while it lasted. And I think that's partly the reason why I'm not too keen on having pets now. Simply because I don't want to love them, have that relationship with them, and then have them, you know, pass away or have to give them away for any reason or have them get sick, you know, and not be able to take care of them properly. I feel like if you decide to take on the responsibility of having a pet, then you need to tend to the responsibilities properly. Oh, the coast looks nice. I haven't seen sand this good in any train sim world route. How nice would it be if the coal over time depleted? is West Somerset Railway. We are driving on the new steam Gala timetable. This route is quite an old route in the Train Sim World franchise, but has received a recent update that has improved it by a fair bit. So yeah, West Somerset Railway. Going through the journey mode, funnily enough, this wasn't my most favorite route. I could admire it's cute. It's a cute land, you know. But it's a preserved railway, and you're not running faster than 25 miles per hour at any given moment. Which, going through the journey mode, run after run after run, got very grueling. And boy oh boy, yeah. I ended up doing the last few runs at top speeds. I completely ignored any speed limit. I just wanted to get it over and done with. How do you get another man next to you? There should be another person with you anytime you drive a Steam loco. Driving Steam IRL was not the easiest thing, and so there was always someone alongside the driver that would take the call and put it into the firebox, would manage all manner of dials and ejectors and gauges and cylinder clocks. There was so much to do. There is so much to do when it comes to driving a steam train. Train sim worlds haven't got the most realistic physics with regards to steam, so that's why it's very easy. I'm doing it very easily. But in reality, there's a lot of work that goes into driving a steam train. It's very different from the modern trains that we get today. So that's why they've got a guy there to simulate, you know, somebody helping you out. And thank you for the follow. It's much appreciated. I think we'll run up to Williton and call it there. Because from there it's quite a long haul before we get to Croco. Black foods. I most certainly did feed my my pet foods, Connor. Do you have the Vectron? I do have the Vectron, yes. Communist. We do indeed have the Vectron. I actually just downloaded the mod for the Vectron that apparently does some minor. It makes some minor changes to the train. to make it a bit more realistic. Although I will say, Connor, the cat did enjoy my lunch a lot more than his own most of the time. So that was interesting. I haven't had a chance to yet, I don't think, Connor. We have used a few announcements, a few different announcements, but I don't think I've used the Brighton ones. I know we've used them on main Autobahn. I know we've used them on main Special Autobahn. I don't think we've used them on any UK routes yet. Hello, Amartya. Amartya X Edits. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing well today. Not a problem at all. It's not a great camera, is it? Yes, actually, yes, we did very, very briefly, but yes, on the Glossop Live, I used the announcements there. And also, it's quite confusing because we have announcements for Edinburgh to Glasgow on the mod, but that route has its own announcements. Although they're not auto, and are a little bit more finicky to use than the modded ones. I do wonder whether it was worth it. At Wellington at 10:23. I think I might end West Somerset Railway here, and then we can move on to the Isle of Wight. and give that line a go. Right, what are we expecting driving into Watchet? This camera thing, where for some reason it just takes you into the logo, is somewhat frustrating. I wonder what that's caused by. Almost perfect. Oh wow, there's actually people getting onto the train. Not something you see every day these days. So it is possible. It is still possible. I guess you just have to have the right route. I wonder if it's a route, if it's a per route basis, or whether it's more of a train thing. I've always liked stopping here. Right, so let's end that one here because this is a very lengthy service, and let's head over to the Isle of Wight. And see what we have in store for us there. Isle of Wight 2022. yet to do anything for it, as you can see. Let's do a little scenario, shall we? Operate an empty Class 484 on a task to retrieve an abandoned Class 484 from St. John's Road Depot to Brading and deliver it to Ride Pier Head. Decently long. More or less what we're looking for. It's a shame we couldn't get a licensed livery for this one. Welcome to Ride St. John's Road Depot. One of our trains has a fault and has been left mid-service at Brading Station. You have been instructed to take 2 empty Class 484s to Brading. Upon arrival, you will uncouple 2 of the 4 empty cars where another driver will take the uncoupled train to Shanklin to start its service. You will then couple to the abandoned Class 484 and then return to Ride Pier Head. Seems good. And I'm glad they left it on the screen long enough to read. Where are we climbing onto here? First and foremost, let's get a decent seating position there. Our lights are automatically set. Love to see it. DRA is off. Where are our safety systems? Make sure everything is activated. And I think with that, we're pretty much good. I don't think there's anything that needs doing there. Let's lighten up the cab a little bit. So I guess we'll, yep, put it into reverse and make our way back to these 2 units. Let's try and make this as smooth as we can here. So far, I think I've got a pretty good streak when it comes to coupling and uncoupling on stream. Not so much of my personal time. Not perfect, but we'll take it. They do get a move on very quickly, don't they? Try and get onto the brakes a little bit earlier, taking our new weight into consideration. Where's our telephone? Right here. There's no contact signaler functionality. Or do we do so through, I guess this is the GSMR. Doesn't look like there's any way to contact the signaler from in-cab. I guess we'll just tab our way through it then. Let's set these to tail before we head out, and let's turn everything back off. And the reason why I do this is because once upon a time, and I don't know whether this bug still exists or not, and I'm not going to give it the opportunity to exist, but whenever you would switch cabs, if you've left any safety systems on the other sides, then you will end up getting stopped by them at some point. Really got to nail this one, huh? There we go. Now let's send everything on here once again. I left the light off in there, but I don't think that's too much of a problem. What have I turned on? Why is... There we go. When did I do that? Right, let's unlock this. Let's turn our lights on. And let's get it cracking. Try and be wary of both our stopping points and our current speed. Right, are we just gonna head back, run the other way? Could we just then not have simply reversed? Could we not just have reversed into here? So once again, actually this time let me actually turn this light off. How does one close this door from the outside? Ah, right. Could have done with that knowledge a little bit earlier. Excuse me, gentlemen. Thank you. As close as we'll get to some drivers. I never forget there was a thing happened. I'll say a few years ago now. It's going to be like a decade or so ago, where a train driver got done for having a pint as he was driving the train. This took place on the London Underground. It was a photograph where you could clearly see a pint with the driver in the cabin. And for some reason, there was a lot of backlash at the fact that he got in trouble for it, which I never to this day still haven't understood. If you're not allowed to drink and drive a car, for example, and you're not allowed to drink and drive any vehicle, that's the one thing that can get you in serious trouble. Whether you're driving, whatever you're driving, it could even be a bloody lawnmower, you're getting in trouble for it. Let alone a train with tens of passengers. Right, so let's see what takes place from here, shall we? I'm not going to spoil it by opening up the tab menu. We have some interesting passengers doing some interesting activities on the tracks. We'll ignore that. Or any problems down the line, so let's turn all of these off once again. Let's get down from this way, shall we? Right. See, here's your problem. There is just no way out. I don't think they really thought this one through. So let's just exit through the passenger door. Now where's the uncouple button? There we go. And once again we are trapped. Whoops. Trapped in our seat. Are the safety systems backwards? Because why is it I would set everything to cut in just for it to say safety systems isolated over here. And then when I turn them off, right, anyway. I'm not going to bother too much with that. That looks like it's all over the place. Might as well set this to not in service also. I do like the fact that we do have the ability to set our own destination. It's the little things, really. This is a pretty... Well, it's a route that came out in 2022. I think it was the sort of beginning of having a bit more access in terms of on-board systems, GSMR, and I guess menu screens, onboard menu screens. We have gone way past where we should have gone. I did not even take notice. So that's it. That's it. There's nothing we can do at this point. The dispatcher can't work out that we need to be on the other side of the signal. Oh, okay, it's worked it out. Thank God, because this was a problem and I thought it was solved. Something that used to catch me out a lot, especially in the TSW 2 days. You'd go past a signal you shouldn't have gone through, and yeah, game over. No matter what you did. A lot of people watching this move take place. All right, just like that. Let's set these to tail. Glad I managed to do that. Perfect. Right, we're still getting safety systems isolated indicator, regardless of whether we set them on or off, because it says that oh, it seems to be backwards anyway. You try Manchester Piccadilly. Not on this stream, Connor. Is that something you would like to see? If it is, let me know and I can add it to the list. I finally got it. I've been telling myself in my head that the horn sounds familiar, but I just couldn't remember where from. This uses the same horn as the DLR trains, the Docklands Light Railway. The exact same horn. The acceleration rate is incredible. Surely this is one of the fastest accelerating trains in the game, if not the fastest accelerating train. I don't think there's much that comes close. for a short while anyway. Hello, Gastox Gaming. Welcome to the stream. How you doing today, my friend? Wish these headlights had a bit more reach. I feel like they're very restricted. Definitely looks a little bit odd. Bayonnaise, is that how you pronounce it? Hello and welcome to the stream. Close enough. Thank you for completing this run. Let's see how you performed. How are you doing, mate? I am doing very well, thank you for asking. I think you're the second person today to ask. Yeah, I'm not doing too badly, thank you very much. How are you, my friend? and I'm glad that I was able to pronounce their name correctly. I feel like karma's come back with that one, because I feel like I had a pretty good streak of pronouncing people's usernames correctly and their names correctly. And I popped up on Samuel's stream yesterday. I don't think Samuel's heard me say my name or pronounce my name, because he said it and then he asked if it was correct, and he got it spot on, which not many people are able to pronounce my name correctly first time around. I'm glad to hear you're well, my friend, man. I'm glad to hear you're well. You're very welcome to the stream today. So we haven't got any other requests since Isle of Wight. So one of two things can happen now. Either I continue on the Isle of Wight regardless and keep doing what we're doing, or I continue working through the journey mode on Mine Special Barn. How far have I got to go before we reach the end of that? Because I feel like it's a pretty long while. Okay, so I've got one more for the main journey, which stupidly I had saved halfway and then overwritten the save, because Train Sim Mod doesn't give you the option to have two different saves. So you save once, you save twice, your first save is RIP. And then we've got 12 204 services, which are fairly short in comparison, other than this ridiculous one over here. But I guess this is just what's it called? Just sorting wagons. This is pretty similar, I would imagine. So we should be done with my special one pretty soon, actually. Let's get onto this one, so we can get this over and done with. 40 minutes, and then we'll see what happens after. If we get a request, then I'll tend to the request. If not, then we'll work our way through the 204 journey mode. There's no break key in here, is there? There's no break key, but we do have AFB, which I adore. I think, at least for the most part, from what I remember, this was a pretty smooth run.
RFB, RFB, RFB.
40Ks. Yeah, I don't think I really had any issues with this one. Pretty smooth, decent amount of AI services coming past the other way. I think it was mostly freight, but we also did see some passenger services as well. Just your bang average run, really, which a lot of these journey modes are. I really do think if we have a third-party developer, come in and change the game with regards to journey modes, I really feel like the potential that journey mode hasn't even been close to being uncovered yet. Like, there's potential there, and maybe we'll see some interesting things once the editor is fully released. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Or we'll get, like I said, a third party developer will come in and show everyone else how it should be done. And either we have, so one of three things. Either we have, let's say for example, 5 different scenarios within the journey modes which are separate from each other and are incredible. Jesus, hey, catch you in time to make a question about this train. Perfect. When all the brake bars are zeros, what should I do? When all the brake bars are zero. So right now, this one is on 0 where it should be. This one shouldn't be on 0. Why did my phone just do that? Let me get the classic card because that will be a bit easier to use when talking brake gauge meters. Oh, I know why. Because there's 5% left in the tank. Okay, so cool. So right now, when everything's zero, you've emptied out everything. All the air's gone. Feyanez, Jesus, I'm gonna come back to you. Feyanez, exclamation lurk. What's that meant to do? Because you're not the first person to use it, and I don't know what it does. I don't know what it's meant to do. I've never used it on somebody else's stream. So what's it meant to do? Please help me out. But yeah, Jesus. So when everything's zero, mate, that will usually happen. For example, when the emergency brakes are activated. When the emergency brakes are activated, all the air's gone, and the brakes are on full lock, basically. So at that point, you would basically don't expect the train to move. So the train's not going to move until you get the air back in the tanks and the brakes can start releasing. Now, in order to do that, set the throttle back to 0 and set the brakes to release. Set the brakes to release. And every train differs. So if you've got a freight train, they'll release, but give it some time. It depends what you're driving. So for example, I had a freight formation on Navica Dresden, and it genuinely took maybe 5 minutes real time for me to be able to even start moving, let alone pick up some speed. If it's been 5 minutes and there's still nothing, all brakes released, throttle zeroed. What? Get me the service number. Get me the service number and the routes that you're having problems with, and I'll run it right now, and we'll see whether it's a bug, because it could be a bug, or whether it's just something that needs to be done in particular. Feyanez, I'm just here lurking on the stream, supporting you as a viewer on the stream. I'll be doing something. Alright, Feyanez, I appreciate that, man. Big up yourself. Was that you with the follow as well? Appreciate that, man. Thank you. I'd love to send you the service number, but I'm away from PS5. Cannot open the game to check it. Alright, do you know what route it was on, at least? And we can perhaps work our way through there, from there. Oh, stop it. It sounds like a bug. If you've released the brakes and you've waited and waited and waited and there's been nothing, it does sound like a bug. But I like to explore all options first before I shout. Buggy game, buggy game, buggy game. Like a lot of people I see on the forums and such. Because I found over the years playing through Train Sim Worlds, a lot of it, I don't know, personally for me, a lot of it is just down to lack of knowledge, you know? You know, we do come across the odd bug, and we know that this game is not bug-free, of course. It should happen twice on the same mission with super heavy loads. I believe it delivered 24 cars, 20k tons of weight. Jesus Christ. That would take a little while, but within 5 minutes for sure, you should be able to get moving. So if everything's still on 0, however many minutes later, then yeah. Google it on the Google it. Search it on the forums if you can. It's likely that somebody's made a thread about it. That's what I used to do. Not so much nowadays, but when TSW 3 was the one that was current, anytime I had an issue, I would just type it in. I would type in like a vague what you'd imagine the title to be. I would type it in, and most of the time somebody had already made a thread about it if it was a bug. Got an espresso. But nothing for Lisa Brace. Yeah, it does sound like a bug then. It does sound like a bug. The thing is, I haven't experienced many bugs with this train. I'll keep it real. This train's been pretty spot on for me. But then again, maybe it depends on the route as well. Because like I said, I've had an issue on Navacare Dresden. But I've never had a route. I've never really had an issue in any other route. It could just be luck as well. I don't really do timetable runs. I feel like if you do timetable runs, there are so many different runs to choose from. The chances of getting one that's a little bit broken are a little bit higher than if you were to do just a journey mode, for example. But that's no matter for now. I was able to finish all tasks for Trainers Platinum Medal, so I'm happy. Good for you, man. It's a shame you're in... Well, it's not a shame you're in PS5. It's a shame that you don't have access to God mode. With God mode, there's a way to complete the objectives without actually completing them. You just press a couple buttons. And it does help when, for example, on a roster line, there's a timetable run where an AI is stuck at a red signal, and there's no way to force it to move. So I had to just use the God mode method, and then I was able to complete the journey mode. No worries, man. No worries. That's what I'm here for. I always say, listen, whether it's an issue, whether it's just providing entertainment, whether it's whatever it is, as I sit here, I'm providing you guys a service. You know, so I'll do a bit of me in terms of selecting what game to play, and as for the rest of it, I leave it up to you guys. That's why I do these request a route streams. So if somebody's interested in a particular thing, if they want to see it before they buy it, if they just want to see something they're curious about, I can do that. So no worries at all, man. It's a pleasure. I think I play a decent variety now with these streams compared to when I was playing by myself off stream, which does give more of an opportunity for bugs and whatnot to show forth. But I don't feel like I come across many bugs. Not like I used to anyway, back in TSW2 and TSW3. So as much as there's a million and one reasons to complain to Dovetail and about Dovetail, I think, you know, credit where credit is due. There are definitely improvements in the general gameplay. There are improvements, but it gets a little bit more technical when you now go into features and general route quality and the like. And you can always flip the negative to a positive. For example, Salzburg to Rosenheim had a nasty little bug on release day where CFA wouldn't, the audible CFA warning wouldn't trigger. So the CFA light would come on and there would be no warning. So if you didn't acknowledge it or if you didn't clear it, rather than have the guy say CFA, CFA over and over again in your ear, the train would just engage emergency brakes. And what I found was when the train would do that, without setting the throttle to 0 and waiting a particular length of time, you wouldn't be able to move. And there's nothing in the introduction or anything of the sort to tell you that. So it was a nightmare. I had fun on that route. I did have fun, but it was very frustrating dealing with that over and over and over again. But turning it into a positive, since Salzburg Rosenheim release day, my CFA game has been out of this world. it's now rare most of the time for me to miss a CFA and have the guy remind me, because that day on Rosenberg to Salzheim, oh my god, Salzburg to Rosenheim, it forced me to pay attention to the lights on the dashboard, on the gauges, so that I wouldn't get an emergency brake. And I've just carried it on since then. Now I'm always keeping an eye out for CFA. So, you know, it gave birth to some goods, I guess. You kind of have to see the positive out of it. But honestly, if you want to survive and continually have a good time on train sim modes, you have to see the good sides of bad things, if that makes sense. You have to be optimistic. I'm listening to everything, just working on it. Always add comments. No worries, Jay. Listen, Jesus. I have two personalities. One that can just talk and talk and talk and talk and just find anything to talk about. And now that I've had an energy drink down me, I'm a little bit chatty. Or I can just be dead silent. I'm silent, you're silent, and we're both enjoying the sound of the rain. I don't really have an in-between. I like it when people talk because it helps me. I didn't know you could lock this. I probably shouldn't show this on the thing. It's a sharp article, let's call it that. Like, I like it when people talk because it helps me. I'm someone who, I was speaking to my friend earlier when I was out with him, and I said I'm very reactive. I'm more reactive than anything. So if somebody says something or asks a question, I can bounce off that and talk and talk and talk and talk. But if I'm just left to my own devices, I've always been a calm, quiet person. I won't lie. So that's like my default. But now, sometimes caffeine is like a drug to me. Sometimes it will just trigger me, and then I have to, even if I'm not talking, I have to move, I have to do something. Or I can have like 3 cups of, what the hell was that? I can have 3 cups of, apparently I can't even speak properly when I've had some caffeine. Or I can have 3 cups of espresso, double espresso, and feel nothing from it. So I don't really seem to have a, I don't know. I wouldn't want to see the dead silent one. That's the problem. I wouldn't want to see the dead silent one. If I'm watching somebody's stream, I want them to keep me entertained. That's the whole point. Why are we slowing down, by the way? We've been slowing down for like the past 5 minutes, and I've only just realized. I also wouldn't want to see that side Fayonnaise. But I don't know. You know, there are certain things here, as human beings, you don't have to be in front of me to know whether I'm faking something or not. You can see it, you can hear it in my voice, you can see it through the camera. You can see when someone's faking something or when someone's trying to force something. That train looks ugly as hell when it was coming. Dostos are kind of ugly. They look kind of cool, but I think they're kind of ugly at the same time. It's interesting. But anyway, where was I? I'm just going everywhere. Yeah, so I feel like at those times when I naturally don't have anything to say, or I don't have much to say, and I try to say anything, just something, just to speak, I feel like it's better that I'll be silent in those times. So I don't know what to do, man. Sometimes I do just have those quiet periods. I had it today before you guys came. There wasn't anyone watching, and it was very quiet. So I was just kind of chilling. But I'm prepared. Look, okay, but wait, you guys aren't even watching. You were just listening, so I won't show you. But I have energy drinks, like in a can, and I also have energy chewing gum. I have a chewing gum that has caffeine in it. So when it comes to the stream, I don't play around. I want to make sure that I'm ready for it. Why are we still slowing down? I want to make sure that I'm ready for these streams, but I forgot to drink my energy drink, and I had a lot of snacks before I started. So I was just a bit relaxed. Let's say I was a bit relaxed. Coffee does not work for me. In fact, I just take 1 cup with half milk in the morning and that's it. Well, I remember when I was working, I used to work at Subway, the restaurant, and I used to open it in the mornings.
Super beeinflussung.
And sometimes I'd go there and I'd only have maybe 3 hours sleep, 3.5 hours sleep. And what I would do is I'd go to the coffee machine, I'd turn it on, prepare it, as I'm, preparing the store, and I'd make double espresso, put sugar in it. I think add another shot of espresso, and then drink that. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. And when I drink coffee and nothing happens, I'm lost, because I wonder, am I okay? Is my body okay? Is there something that's not... Is my body not responding the way it should? I think what caffeine does scientifically, I learned this recently, is there's certain things in your brain, or certain chemicals are released that tell your brain, hey, we need to sleep, we need to rest. And what caffeine does is it blocks the path that those it blocks the path that those chemicals take. So it blocks those chemicals from telling your brain, yo, it's time to sleep. So what happens with me then when I drink caffeine and I'm so tired? Are those something's wrong with those chemicals? Either something's wrong with the caffeine, or something's wrong with the chemicals, or something's wrong with my brain. Maybe it's just my brain. Double deckers, I think, is a light way to put it. I remember the first time I had an espresso, it was at university. Well, not now, but before. When I was going back in 2017. Hello, William. Oh, welcome to the stream. And I didn't know what an espresso was. I just knew it was very strong. So we had the Starbucks at the... Oh, I can't speak. Jesus Christ. We had the Starbucks at the university I used to go to. And that university also had a Subway. They had everything. That university was nice. But anyway, and I went to the Subway and I went to the Starbucks, sorry, and I said, hey, can I have an espresso, please? She was like, okay. And she gave me a cup with like 50 milliliters of drink inside. And I looked at it and I opened it and I looked at it and I was like, what's this, basically? Like, I've just given you some money. I've asked for coffee and you've given me some droplets. And then my friend was correct, and my friend had to correct me. She was beside me. I was like, hey, no, that's just that's just what espresso is. It's a shot. So I was like, okay, well, I guess it's super strong then. So then we sat down, and my only experience with coffee is Nescafe. My parents used to have at their house, they have they always had a jar of the coffee, and you would just take a spoon and take some of the coffee out, put it in a mug, and then you'd add, some water or some milk. And I knew by the smell, this wasn't something that I would be interested in. So I knew, okay, there's a high chance that I'm not gonna like this. But I said, you know what? Let's just go for it. And so I took a sip of the espresso for the first time. And man, I couldn't believe it. I was disgusted. I was terrified by what was in my cup. I was disgusted. My day was ruined. I couldn't believe what I spent my money on. And yeah, man, I said to myself, never again. I finished that cup anyway, because I wasn't gonna let my money go to waste. But I said to myself, nah, never again, man. How do these people do it? People that I'll see every day, cup of coffee, every day cup of coffee, every day cup of coffee. Nah. Maybe I'll just for image, I'll get a hot chocolate, and people will see me with a Starbucks cup and they'll think I'm cool. So I used to only go to Starbucks to buy hot chocolate, so I could look cool. Anyway, fast forward now, how many years? 8 years later. And I love lattes. Oh my god, I love lattes. It's the flavor for me, it's the taste. We have a coffee machine at home, an espresso one. Woo! I don't know what's changed. I've become a new creation. My taste buds have transformed. They've matured. They've elevated, however you want to put it. And I love coffee now. I love coffee. Although there's an issue with my current coffee machine, where for whatever reason, now it makes cups of coffee that are warm. And not even warm on the hot side, but more warm on the cool side. I don't know why. Maybe because we didn't really deep clean the coffee machine for some months. But even after I cleaned it, the issue is still there. So I'm not sure what to do now, whether it's worth keeping. Because now if you want a hot coffee, we have to put the mug of coffee in the microwave once you get the coffee in it. So it's a little bit frustrating, but the coffee still tastes very nice, especially if you have the latte glass. And it does it very well. You see the colors mix, like it looks like the advert. It looks like how they make it in the advert. I love it. I never thought I'd develop some sort of passion for latte, but here we are. Life is full of surprises. And I do say passion, I do use the word passion carefully, because I know that there are people who are truly passionate about coffee. I didn't know there was such a deep community when it comes to coffee, but there really is. There really is a big community of coffee lovers, and the same way people are passionate about computers and will spend tons of money and do tons of research into computers, it's the same with coffee. There's a particular pressure that the coffee should be squeezed. There's a particular moisture. They spray the coffee beans to moisten them before they're squeezed. There's a particular level of moisture that they want, that they need to get. There's a particular filter paper. There's a particular water heater. There's all these things, it goes really, really, really deep. I don't understand it personally, because I don't want to spend 20 minutes making my cup of coffee in the morning. But if you're passionate about it, then you're passionate about it, isn't it? I respect it. I can appreciate people's passions. But I remember the first time listening to it and thinking, is this like a troll, or is this like sarcasm? I didn't know what to think of it. And then I learned a bit more about it, and it's it's really a thing. I don't know if it'd be a good idea to try coffee made with that level of precision, because I feel like once I taste, the grandest of grand coffees, maybe everything else will taste crap, and I will become a coffee connoisseur, investing thousands into coffee, a single cup of coffee. Also, it's healthy. Coffee is actually healthy. Anything fermented is healthy. Coffee is obviously just fermented coffee beans, which means it's healthy, as long as you don't add sugar and syrup and all of these other things. It is a healthy drink. I feel like coffee's always been touted as unhealthy and you shouldn't drink coffee and da 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 da. I think everything in moderation is okay. Too much of anything is bad for you. Too much water can kill you, for example. It's such a shame that we only have a this freight one as the last service for the main portion of the journey modes. I feel like I jumped onto the announcements a little bit late. I've had them downloaded for a while, but I just didn't know. Whether it was going to be worth buying Soundpad, which is the software that you use to play the announcements. You can use other bits and pieces of software, but Soundpad is pretty much the best you're gonna get, and it's only $4.99. But I remember the first time I downloaded them, and I'm very used to just downloading pack files every single time. Download it, put it in the DLC folder, and you're ready to go. That's the case with all the mods. But I suddenly saw files that weren't pack files, and straight was like, nope, not dealing with it. And then I looked at them again because there was more and more being released, and I saw that, okay, you need to buy a software to use these. At the beginning, I thought to myself, let me at least just, because it's on Steam, let me try it out. If after the 2-hour window it's not really something I'm feeling, then I'll get my refund, I'll get my money back, and we'll just keep it moving. But fortunately, yeah, it was pretty good, pretty decent. I enjoyed it, still using it. So, and God knows what it will be used for in the future as well. It seems like something that can be, it's got a lot of potential. I don't know if I'll ever get back into roleplay, GTA 5 roleplay. I think if I do, it will probably have to be one way or another railway related. I probably need to explore the realms of role-playing in GTA 5. The thing is, I put in the work and got accepted into the best roleplay server in the whole of 5M. And I feel like if I can't utilize that fortune, I guess I'll call it, because a lot of people just can't get onto it. If I don't utilize that, it will almost be like a waste. And I feel like a lot of it has been wasted already anyway, because it's been over a year since I got accepted onto the server. And I haven't really done much with it. Mainly because of the environment I was in at the time that I got into the server. But I don't really have much of an excuse now. I mean, I guess time, it's a bit tough. And with GTA 5 roleplay, you need consistency. That's the only way you build your character, you build your story, you build an audience, is by being consistent. By logging on every single day, interacting with people every single day, and just waiting for your break. I remember the first time, not even the first time, the one and only time I interacted with a big streamer that got me like 20 something followers, or even more. I think it was 30 something. And then as time went, they all unfollowed. And about 10 of them unfollowed. And I was left with like 19, I think, or something like that. So you're sort of just waiting for your moment. So I don't know, man. Maybe if my situation changes and I have a bit more free time, I'll be able to, because I do want to switch things up a bit. The way I'm doing things right now with my streaming schedule and not a necessarily orderly or structured video schedule, I'm just doing what I can with what I have. That's really it. I've managed to make something out of nothing. So yeah, it's not ideal. I don't want to be streaming at these times. I'd rather stream from, let's say, 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. That's the time that people are going to be, that's the time to build an audience. That's the time that most people are going to be on Twitch after a long day's work or school or whatever it may be that they spent their day doing, and you're there to, you know, again, provide a service to people, help them unwind, help them relax. Right now, everyone's working or everyone's studying. No one's about on Twitch. There's only a handful of people that are about. And then you think to the fact that Train Sim World is a niche that not many people know about anyway, or not many people are interested in, compared to, for example, Fortnite, Apex, PUBG, Call of Duty, and you realize just how difficult it is to break through. So, like I said, we're making something out of nothing. I think as long as we're consistent, we'll see growth. Yeah. Now at least I get you guys talking. You guys will hang around, talk, you know, and maybe it won't be a ton, or maybe it won't be hundreds of people, but there was a time when I would get nobody, and the whole 3 hours streaming, I'd have average or even max 2 viewers, which is myself, because I watch myself. I have my stream open on my phones so I can read the chat because I don't have 2 monitors. So basically there would be no one, or people would come in and then go and come in and go and come in and go, you know. So progress is being made, and I appreciate you guys for, you know, being part of that. It's motivating in its own right. It's tough, it's difficult being on here for hours and hours, or spending hours and hours making content. Yesterday, for the video that I released this morning, I recorded it last night, edited it, done everything I needed to do, and didn't sleep until 4:30 in the morning. Usually my bedtime is 1 a.m. Or even before, but I didn't sleep yesterday until 4:30, just editing and editing. Anything I'm gonna add to that is part of editing. So it sucks when you put in work in that, or just hours of streaming, and it yields nothing, basically. So it's always good to see growth, even if it's small. When I see small channels grow, I'm always behind them, applauding them, congratulating them, motivating them. But yeah, things will change, probably, most likely, hopefully before summer even comes around. So we'll see. Also, something I noticed I do that I want to improve on personally, when I speak, I never use a script, even when I plan my videos, just regular YouTube videos. I have a very basic script. So I have, for example, okay, I'm going to talk about this and I'm going to talk about that, but what exactly I'm going to say, I never plan. I like to flow naturally, and I feel like as a watcher it's better that way as well, because if I'm reading from a script and I sound like a robot, it's not going to make for a great viewing experience. So I do it off the top of my head. Not off the top of my head, I do it just like off the rip, basically, off the dome, as they say in rap culture. And I'm doing it now, and I've realized I've been doing it this whole time that I've been streaming, and it makes for tedious editing when I edit my videos. But I say a lot. There are ways to combat that, and I need to remember. The thing is, when I'm streaming, or even when I'm recording a regular video, even without the pressure of being live, I don't know, I still feel a sort of pressure. I don't know where it comes from, but I feel it. I think maybe the more I do regular videos, because I've done a couple now, but I don't usually do videos where I'll sit and I'll talk in front of the camera. It's a very strange experience, even with you know, with how long I've been doing YouTube and Twitch for, you know, for as long as I have. It's still strange. So when it comes to recording videos, it's easy to edit out those fillers, but it's not obviously something you can do when you're live. So I'm going to try and work on that. Something which I think I've improved on, but I still need to work on, is how quickly I talk. I don't start slowing down until I realize, oh, I'm speaking a little bit too fast. So like now I've realized I think I've been speaking a bit too fast. So I'm speaking slower than I've been doing this stream. But once I forget it, or once it goes out of my mind, once I'm no longer conscious of it, it comes back. And that's not great. Sometimes I'll listen back to myself and even I won't understand what I've said, let alone someone, for example, who English may not be their first language. So yeah, a couple things that I need to work on, and I think as time goes on, those kinks will iron themselves out. I think a lot of things will improve just by being consistent. But feedback is also important. So you guys, please, don't be afraid. Don't be shy. If there's something I'm not doing great, feel free to let me know. Even constructive criticism. Listen, it's not easy to take criticism. It's not. But it's the key. It's one of the biggest keys to improving. And sometimes you need to hear that you don't do this well and you don't do that well. And I don't like how you do that, and I don't like how you do that. Sometimes you need to hear those kind of things to become better. If truly it's something like an area that you want to improve in, you have to learn to take criticism. And sometimes people don't know how to give you constructive criticism. Sometimes it will just be in the form of hate. And you have to be mature enough to be able to separate the feedback in that quote unquote hate and the hate. And you can't let it bring you down either. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. You just have to be willing to improve. We'll start slowing down for the 37 or even the 40 limit from now, because of the weight of this train, and because the adhesion isn't great right now with the rain. The rails are pretty slippery. It takes a pretty long while for the brakes to do what they need to do. And once you end up interfering with that and going harsh on the brakes, then you need to take a minute and wait for the brakes to release, so you can start building up speed again. And at the same time as you're doing that, as the brakes are still on, the weight of the train itself. Why? See, I've been caught out. Well, says me, right? Okay. See, even for this, we need to wait 1 minute just for the train to get to 0. Wait for the brakes to release, and then start moving again. And before you know it, 5 minutes is gone. Yes. Thank you very much. I appreciate your work. Right, let's try that again. Brake pads filling up. Now brake cylinder, please do your thing. Get us to 0. Let these wagons get all the air out so we can start moving again. Honestly, if you don't know what you're doing, German trains will punish you. They will punish you. PZB will punish you. LZB, if you don't know, as simple as it is, if you don't know the workings of LZB, it will punish you. If you don't know CIFA, as simple as CIFA is, it will punish you. That's the German way. Germans like making things difficult and punishing, but you can't wrong them. It's the safest way. So you can't, I don't know, you can't hate it. I respect it. I don't really have much of a choice but to respect it. But yeah, we're a mile out now from Gemunden. Whether I'm pronouncing that correctly or not, I have no clue. But we're a mile out regardless. We've got roughly... Well, I think by the time we finish this run, we're gonna have roughly 40 minutes or so.
Zwangsbremsung.
No, bother me.
Zwangsbremsung.
Bother me, not again.
Zwangsbremsung.
Okay.
Zwangsbremsung. Zwangsbeeinflussung.
Yeah, we're gonna have roughly 20 or so minutes to go before the stream ends, and we're not really getting any requests. Nothing much is really going on today. It's a quiet stream, so maybe I'll just do some 204 runs. That should take us to the end. It's an odd one. I know the second that I make a stream, I know tomorrow, I'm saying it from now, I'm declaring it from now, yeah? And I'm happy to even bet on this. Tomorrow, when my stream won't be a request a route stream, when the intention of tomorrow's stream will be just to show off the new Niedertorbahn route timetable, I'm gonna get a ton of people telling me what route they want to see. Shout out to the missus. You don't know already. Hello, ma'am. Thank you very much. But yeah, I guarantee I'm going to get a ton of people saying, I want to see this and I want to see that tomorrow. I guarantee it. That's what happened last time. Tons of request a route streams where the purpose is to request a route or request whatever you want to see. I won't get any requests. I'll get 1 or 2 in 3 hours. Then the second I said, hey, in today's stream, we're going to be taking a look at the new timetable. Let's see what it's got for us. Within an hour, there's 3 or 4 different requests. And that was basically that stream. I didn't get to run the timetable. That was the center of the stream. It was just route request after route requests. There wasn't time. I got so many that there wasn't time to do the timetable that I wanted to do. So maybe that's the hack. Come on. Get home safe, by the way. Love you. So maybe that's the hack. Maybe I just got to do... Maybe it's a reverse psychology thing where I got to say, hey, don't request a route to get people to request routes. I don't know. We'll see. And that was my most popular stream in terms of engagement and activity live in a while. And that actually gained a lot of momentum for a little while. Which seems to have slightly died away. So I guess we'll see if we can revive it tomorrow, basically. But yeah. I guess we'll have a little less than the 20 minutes I initially thought. I guess because of the unscheduled stop just then. So it's gonna be tight. I wonder what we can fit in a 10 or 15 minute slot. I guess we'll find out. How much would it suck if I didn't stop in time for this signal? And the last 45 minutes goes poof. And that's a time in my life I'd never get back. I probably shouldn't say how often that's happened, because it's amounted to hours and hours. especially during the period of time where there was no save feature in the game when it was taken out.
Sit back, listen.
So yeah, how about we don't take that risk? As I always say, I would rather overdo the brakes, overdo it on the brakes, than underdo it, I guess, would be the opposite term. You know what? That's not half bad. That's not half bad. I'll take 8 yards out. So, let's see if we can get any 20-minute runs. We did end up timing it not too badly in the end. This ain't a great angle. I'm sorry, but this train looks, it just makes the train look fat. Or like it's got chubby cheeks. Doesn't look great. It's not cute. It just doesn't look great. Right, let's see what we've got here. I mean, we do have a literally a 20-minute scenario. But I do need to get through the introduction because I have never driven this loco. So we could do a 5-minute introduction here and then end it with this 15-minute mixed freight delivery run. Are these also... No, I guess scenarios would just be these ones. But they're all uniquely named. Alright, let's see what this introduction will give us. Let's see how helpful it's going to be.
Welcome to this BR204 diesel locomotive in DB Traffic Red livery. During this brief introduction, we will go through the start and stop procedures.
Cheers, mate.
Climb aboard to get started. Before starting the locomotive, we need to first turn the battery on and then wait until the engine oil dial reaches the required 55 degrees centigrade.
I don't even know which dial I'm looking for because it's all in German. Everything in German. Which one should I be looking at? They're all over 55 anyway, which was what
Headlights
the
are
requirement
important
was.
in letting others around know that a locomotive is operational. When stopped for longer periods of time or when leaving the cab, a handbrake is engaged. We'll need to ensure this is released in order to get moving.
Doesn't sound great.
A lot of your time will be spent in the driver's seat.
See, okay, so what determines the front of the train on the rear of the train?
To start the engine, we need to set the reverser key to engine only. The locomotive is now ready to be started. This is done using the engine start switch.
Alright, let's hold that for 5 seconds.
The train brake is used for normal line operations.
Where was this scenario? Where was this introduction when I needed it? Like all these years ago.
Now we can set the reverser key to the forward. To get the train moving, we will set the throttle wheel.
Alright, see, we're moving.
To To prepare the train for stopping, the throttle wheel should be set to LL.
I wonder
The
what that
size
stands
and
for.
weight of a train play a large part of determining how much braking force.
Too much yapping. I mean, it says reached 12.4 miles an hour. We've long gone past that. We've gone through like almost triple that. But I guess we'll go back down to that. The brakes aren't great, is it? How is this going to be used as a shunter when the brakes with nothing on are this slow to do what they're called to do? Also, I'm not sure how I feel about certain settings being forced on during introductions, such as the objective marker, the stop marker. Really, it was me inside. Yeah, to be fair, I hear it. I just wanted to play it safe. That's why. It takes an absolute age
Good
to
work.
stop.
That is the basics covered. A manual can also be obtained that provides more detail about the full functionality of this locomotive.
All right, seems pretty straightforward. I think that's one of the few, very, 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 very few trains that I had never driven before. I've sat in it. I just didn't know what to do from there on. I drove the 101 recently, the Deutschbahn 101. That was a treat. I think that's my new favorite train, and I only needed to drive it once to know that. So we've got 15 minutes. I'd love to do like a 10. There we go, perfect, 10-minute one, just because I want to give some extra time. As still a train I'm somewhat unfamiliar with. So maybe that 15 minutes will end up being easily 20, 25. Not sure what to expect anyway. And we are going to be using PZB. So let's turn that off. Let's go, because I already know the stop marker's been turned on. Right. So again, I don't know what determines the front of the train. Oh, we are rolling back. I guess I'll just set it to what it was set to before. I'm pretty sure the introduction should have covered when In what situation the other lights are activated? What are we expecting here? All right, I'm moving around 6 cars or so. Should be relatively straightforward. I am enjoying this, I will say that much. I'm not sure what it is about this logo, but it just seems cool. Let's also get back to the minimal HUD. I don't want to get too used to the classic one again.
Zifa.
Full service brakes and we are just gliding along. Surely these brake fittings are inaccurate. I know this is an old, I know this is an old unit, but come on, man. Excuse me. Hello, Alex. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing?
Zifa.
Perfectly done. This ain't gonna be pretty. No, just about right actually. Nah, not pretty at all. Not pretty at all. Let's try that again. There we go, that's more like it. I feel like the bounce initially was rather aggressive. Alright, let's put into forward. Release those brakes. Try and get moving once again. Should be relatively straightforward. Definitely gonna have to apply some more power. I guess braking might be easier because I guess it depends on the situation and the gradient and the speed you're traveling at. But at slow speeds, it should be easier for sure because the weight of the wagons alone and the friction they'll be causing should have an effect.
Zifa.
How would one know without the audible Zifa when to press it? Because I'm not seeing any light come on anywhere.
Zifa. Zifa.
Nah, they really haven't helped too much. Braking is still dire. I do like the look of these tankers though. Seem to be done very, very well. Alright, let's try to do this and do it well, shall we? Need to bear in mind we've also got a downhill gradient as we're doing this.
Zifa. Zifa.
Oh. There we go. Love to see it. Ah, we do have a Sifa light. Why did I not see that before? Is it the sun reflecting? Oh, we do have a Sifa light. It is very bright. I have no clue how I missed it before. Right, so this is full power. Ah, there's a turntable there. Interesting. This is full power, up a 0.4% gradient. So this is why I wanted to be easy with the time that this scenario is meant to take. Because I know it tends to take a little bit longer, especially with German routes. Yeah, I think it was just the way the light was hitting the CFA button, CFA light. Because like right now, for example, as you're going through these bright spots, it just goes completely white and you will not be able to tell that it's illuminated. You try London to Euston. We do not have a London to Euston route yet, Connor, on Train Sim World. I know we have one on Train Sim Classic, but not yet on Train Sim World. And regardless, this is the last route of the day for today. So even if we did, we might have had to delay it until tomorrow's stream. The next stream is going to be tomorrow. Right, let me turn the throttle down from now and start applying some brakes. So minimum, all right, now we start to slow down. Takes a little while, but it gets there in the end. Although I think we need to add a little bit more. We most certainly do need to add a little bit more. And a bit more on top of that. And I'm just going to go all the way. And I think even then I'll be lucky to stop on the mark. To be fair, it's going to be close. Oh, perfection. Beyond close. Beyond close, mate. Absolute perfection. Now let's back it up. No more. Full throttle again. There should be a relatively minor descent. Even though we've only got, what, 6 tankers, it still does take a while for the brakes to release. Okay, maybe I just hadn't released them. I don't know if you need to go to release every single time or if running is sufficient. Because I've only been going as far back as running and we've been okay so far. Until then, I guess. I really do like these tankers. Looks like a great amount of details gone into them. Even down to weathering.
Zifa.
These must be a chore to work with IRL.
Zifa. Zifa.
We've got a... No. Oh my god, I thought that was a... I read that was going to catch us out. Jesus Christ. Right, full braking. Let's see how long it takes us to stop. You know what, it's not doing too badly. It's not doing too badly at all. Right, back down to 0.
Zifa.
And we'll somewhat just ease it in.
Zifa. Zifa. Zifa.
Lovely to see all those sidings available to play around with. Not something we see very often anymore, unfortunately. Nice little dockyard as well.
Zifa. Zifa.
Fair bit going on here. Love to see it.
Zifa.
Wow, I'm impressed. Hey, hello Samuel. Welcome to the very end of the stream. We're literally on our final instruction, 200 yards away, and we're gonna call it there. How are you, man? I hope you're doing well. You are more than welcome.
Sicher. Sicher.
70 yards away, I guess we can start applying some braking, and then hopefully it's not too strict on the stopping points, because we have gone way beyond this. You know what? It's the times, man. It's the time. Like 2 to 5 is... Alright, it might not be the worst time to stream. There are definitely worse times, but it's not the most ideal time frame to stream in. So yeah, it's what it is. It sucks, but hopefully it will be very, very, very temporary. I'm glad to hear you're doing well, man. I'm indeed glad to hear you're doing well. I think... Oh no, we've got someone watching on Twitch. What are viewing numbers like on YouTube today? Oh, we've got a fair few people on YouTube as well. Hello, guys. I don't really see the YouTube numbers until I specifically go onto YouTube, which I avoid doing because of the chance that I'll miss out on chat. But yeah, to all of you, thank you for being here. It's been a pleasure streaming to you. It's been a pleasure speaking to those who I've been speaking to. And it's been a pleasure having you guys here. So thank you very, 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 very much. I will be back tomorrow with some more Train Sim World. Tomorrow, we're taking a look at the modded Niedertoban timetable, which brings it up to modern day. So that's going to be exciting. We'll see what that has to offer. But yeah, we're back 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. once again with that. So make sure you're there. If you haven't subscribed yet, it would be greatly appreciated. And yeah, take care. Have a lovely rest of your day. Stay safe. Look after each other. And I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.